Nice. All right. So this is a series in YouTube streaming and live streaming during the middle of the day here. So we're doing lunchtime certification streams, 15 minutes just talking about certs and other events around certifications and, I don't know, getting employed and these types of things, right? So the first thing, this is the reason we started today on Monday. This is Monday, April 29th, is because Cisco Live starts tomorrow. And so if Cisco Live starts tomorrow, then Cisco should be a primary focus. That is a focus for us in terms of certifications, right? Cisco is one of the main names in the game in terms of certifications. And so Cisco Live should be a pretty interesting event and should be a good focus for us in terms of getting certified, getting employed, or becoming better network and security engineers. And so I wanted to focus on one thing on our live stream today, and that is how to attend events like Cisco Live. So how to attend conferences. And so I've attended conferences all over the world, presented and attended engineering conferences, specifically in chemical engineering as well as in ethical hacking and networking and a wide array of topics. And so I wanted to talk to you about how I get the most out of my conference attendances. And so the first thing is organizing your time, picking events that you want to attend, obviously, so picking things that you're interested in. Clearly, that's where everybody starts. But the idea is, if you're picking things that you're interested in, right, you may miss out on things that are really relevant. You may miss out on topics that are relevant from really great speakers that may not be a topic that's necessarily like right in your wheelhouse. And I found that that's happened to me before. The other thing is you don't want to get too burnt out, right? And you don't want to narrow your focus too much. So in my first couple of years in conferences, the first thing I would go to was exactly what I am trying to learn or research in, right? So for example, I was researching in computer modeling of exhaust after treatment systems, right? And I would go to only those conference events that were doing specifically what I was thinking. If you were thinking about Cisco Live, for example, and you're a wireless engineer, you want to get into wireless, or you're thinking about security and you want to get into security engineering, or you're thinking about networking and you're trying to pass a CCNA or CCNP and you want to get into dynamic routing protocols, and that's what you're in specifically, right, in terms of your studying and what your job function is and these types of things. That's fine, right? And you can look for, OSPF route optimization and route redistribution in different autonomous systems and environments, right? And I'm sure that there would be one or two relevant topics associated with those ideas, right? But you're going to limit yourself in terms of what you can find in a big conference like, let's say, Cisco Live, and you're going to, you're really going to narrow that focus too much. So in my opinion, right, find one or two that are, or two or three or four, like 1 hour sessions, right, that are really relevant to your topic. And you can attend those for sure and listen to them and maybe go back through them, right? The second thing that I have found to be, so that's fine, right? But I would say the second piece is, go outside of your comfort zone. Attend a wireless summit, attend the flagship summit, right, with whoever is there. So so attend some of the bigger name stuff just to like see it and understand what's going on. The second piece is don't get too overwhelmed in conferences, right? So I in my earlier career, in my earlier days, would go to too many of these talks, right? So you go to one after another, and you find yourself just sitting in talks going, what am I doing here? Why am I sitting here, right? Then eventually, and this happened to me, I would just get up and walk out, right? I would leave talks that maybe were interesting or weren't, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, right? And this is something that we all suffer from. Short attention spans or even limited attention spans, it's not that big of a deal, right? It is possible to only attend 3, but attend really high quality talks and be engaged and get way more than attending 15 1-hour talks over the course of 3 days and get almost nothing out of it. So my second piece of advice is don't overschedule yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to digest information, to digest food, go get something to eat, even if it's a virtual conference like Cisco Live is this year, right? In the future, this would be more relevant for live conferences as well. But, in the end, you need your time, and there are other advantages to not attending everything as well, especially in live conferences, right? Meeting up with colleagues, finding or listening in on conversations, right, that other people are having. There are these people group up, right, talk about things. You're more than welcome to stand in a group and listen to a talk of a group of your peers and other professionals talking about these things. So do that as well, and don't fret over the small stuff, right? Do not get too overwhelmed with these types of things. Let's talk about another one, which is allowing yourself or getting attendance at conferences. So either traveling to conferences, right, or virtual attendance, which still costs money and these types of things. So one of the things that I did as a student when I was attending the University of Maine and the University of Kansas was finding opportunities to attend conferences for free. Right, so that's the most important, especially if you're trying to break into the space. Certificates, obviously, or certifications are a great way to do this. Conferences are a great way to do it as well. I'll talk about, how to beef up resumes and stuff like that for free, and what I did in different spaces. But in terms of attending Cisco Live, for example, right, what you want to do is be there, right? But how do you get there, right? And so for me, obviously, it's part of my job description, and so it wasn't necessarily the biggest deal in terms of getting paying or getting there. But what I did in my undergraduate was look for opportunities. So I got to go to Philadelphia, Florida, Georgia, all these different places to attend these conferences for free, because you look for opportunities and apply for them. You can do this in the real world as well, right? I saw a lot of people giving away Cisco Live passes. So, apply for these things, like a retweet and whatnot, right? When people are giving away Cisco Live passes, you can apply for like local grants and things like this. They have like state, local, and national grants for conference attendance. You can look for all of those things. They are out there, and if you don't apply for them, you won't get them. That was a classic statement in our research when we were applying for funding and things like this, right? If you don't apply for them, you won't receive them. And so, there are a lot of interesting ways to allow yourself to attend these. There's also like a free tier at Cisco Live too, so don't hesitate to do those things. Participate in everything that you can. The free CTF at Cisco Live, right? Those are really, really important components. So what have we talked about so far? We talked about optimizing your time in conference attendance, finding things that are interesting to you, also stepping out of your comfort zone. The second thing is, and this is the bug that everybody gets bit by, but don't attend too many things. Don't try and sit through all this stuff and be bored. It's not worth your time. It's not worth my time. I don't do it anymore. I did before. And then the third one is how to get there, right? Obviously you can, if you're employed in the space, you could leverage your contacts in your organization, or petition to get your organization to pay for it. Sometimes that happens. That's useful. That happens in my case a lot of times. If you're a student, universities will oftentimes, and universities in different university organizations, right? So within your specific discipline, computer science, IT, computer engineering, whatever it is, right? Whatever your department is, they oftentimes have like funds and stuff set up to do these things. They have endowments to do these things. I know that both of my universities had different organizations that were available for you to petition to go and do these things, whether it was an organization within your department itself, a student organization in the department, a bunch of different places. And then if you're, like let's say not a student, right, which is always the case as well, and just transitioning into IT, again, there's like state and local grants. You can just look them up locally. I don't, I'm not going to go specific into locations. There's like national grants, and then there's also like, you can like petition, or find people that are giving away those passes here too, especially in a niche place like networking and engineering, right? These are niche topics that you probably have a pretty good shot at finding somebody who's giving a giveaway that you might have a shot at. So there's a bunch of different ways to attend them. So this is how to get there, what to do when you're there, and how not to burn out, right? This takes us to close to our 10 minutes at lunchtime in terms of certifications and conferences. Today was a little conference discussion. We'll probably do more of Cisco Live because I'll be attending Cisco Live over the next couple of days. But then subsequent days, we will talk about certifications and certification content. A little deep dive, a little 15-minute deep dive or 10-minute deep dive every single day into a topic that is interesting to me and hopefully interesting to you. Awesome. We'll continue.